Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is 7:33. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Lorraine,
Here.
Shoemaker, as absent Mathis,
Here.
Krug is here, Kessler,
Here.
Gopal is absent, Tucker.
Present.
You have 5 members present.
Okay. To the members of tonight's audience, the last meeting I had mentioned that this meeting is televised like the last meeting. You'll see 4 cameras in the room, and it will be on channel 191 on Charter Communications, and it goes for 2 weeks. And it usually starts at 8 in the morning. It's going to be like 8, noon, 4, and goes on like that for 2 weeks on 191. Sometimes you'll turn it on though, and it could be a basketball game or something like that, the band. But that's the channel that you can see yourself. If you want to come up and speak and give your name, you do not have to give your address. Approval of tonight's agenda. Are there any requests to amend tonight's agenda? I have 2. Tom Broker will report on this under reports. Park and Rec Plan update, we received a grant, and he's going to explain what that's all about. And then, I don't know, Bob, if you were going to be talking about the meeting on April the 13th for the dog park at 5:30 here.
I can.
I just want to put it in the
I
reports.
can wing it.
There. It's on April the 13th. This is about the dog park. And the public's invited to attend the meeting for fundraising and volunteer opportunities for the dog park in right off of Thompson Road. All right. A motion is in order to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved. Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Included in the packet are the minutes from the March 21st regular meeting. Are there any corrections or revisions to the meeting minutes? Okay, the meeting minutes stand approved as presented. Expenditures. Are there any questions regarding any of the expenditures that are in front of you?
Supervisor Mathis, in a prior conversation with a couple of other trustees, would it be possible, maybe this isn't the right time to ask for a workshop to go over
Sure.
CPs?
We actually need a workshop on other things too.
And the reason being is for instance, if the procurement process, like for instance, someone needs business cards, how is that process? Would that be, whose job would it be to issue that PO or to?
That would be, they would go to Tom.
They'd go to
Broker.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Now, maybe when we talk on the reports, or we could schedule, but now we don't have the other 2 here, but we do need some workshops. We've got some things going on, and we definitely need workshops.
Okay.
It's just trying to get everybody at the same time. I don't even mind a Saturday workshop if we have to, or an evening workshop.
We do have a procedure. I don't know if you have ever seen, for procurement, so probably a good idea. But I can get you a copy.
Well, if there's a workflow chart, then I don't need it in a special meeting.
Okay, but do you agree, though, we need a workshop on other items?
Yes.
Yes, I do too. Well, good, we'll get together on that. Probably, though, we're going to have to wait until the next meeting when everybody's here to set up dates.
Okay.
John's happy about workshops, but that's what really makes a difference. All right. A motion is in order to approve the expenditures totaling $1,199,760.37 for payment.
So moved. Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mathis,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Shoemaker is absent. I vote yes. Gopel is absent. Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, the next item is public hearings, which is none. Reports. Tom Broker, would you like to explain what this Park and Rec Plan Update Grant is?
Yes, you may recall that we had submitted a grant application to the Community Foundation of Greater Flint to cover the cost of updating the Parks and Rec Plan to add the trail system component into it to make us eligible for additional grant funds. And that grant was approved late last week for $3,000. And so now I'm waiting for the proposal from Roe, who did the original plan, to complete the update process, and I'll be able to, I should have that at the next board meeting.
Any questions in regards to that? All right, communications, none. Adoption of ordinances, none. This is the unfinished business. This is the one thing that I asked to table. It's your Metro Act permit application from Fiber Technologies Network LLC. I had some questions in regards to this. And so I got with the engineer in that because at that last meeting, I said, years back on Fenton Road, fiber optics came in on the easement and they hit our sewer pipe, drilled into it, and caused a problem, pretty big problem. They went on the wrong side of the road. But on this one, it'll say that Miss Dig and everything will check, will label everything. If you see down here on your map, I don't know if you've got your packet, but anyway, the areas are going to be on existing poles. So that's fine. Now, we have a sewer line on Torrey Road and Thompson Road. The lines that they gave us just goes down the middle of the road. I don't know, we will have to really watch that and tell county as far as where our sewer line is. Now, the only other thing too, and I was looking at this Thompson Road, and what it is, it's going from the existing tower, is it Jennings Road, Tom, or at the school?
I think it's on the school property.
From that tower to the tower by the bowling alley, by Milner's property. So that's fine, that's all wires going down. But then we're gonna go underground, and they're gonna have to bore underneath Thompson Road somehow. So we're gonna really have to be careful on that one. The other one is by the school, and we'll check that one out also. But I'm all right with it now, but I do remember, and I needed to check that out, that they, not this company, but another company drove into the sewer.
Is our scout?
So, saying that, is there any other board discussion in regards to that?
Are you comfortable with it now?
I'm comfortable, yeah. Excuse me. None? All right.
Bonnie,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I guess I do. The actual contract itself, that's been reviewed, I'm sure, correct? By the township? The legalese?
That's a state form.
That's what I was going to ask. So the insurance requirements, the only thing I worried about was they're required only to have $500,000 for environmental contamination. Not that I see that be as an issue, but they have $1 million for autos, but $500,000 and a $500,000 contamination cleanup would be like cleaning up someone's backyard. So if that's a state contract, I understand, but if it's not,
Excuse me.
then that seems awful light when it comes to environmental issues. Not that they would have a lot, again, 90% of the projects above ground.
Yeah,
If everybody else is okay with it,
Yeah, it's a state form. It's not a negotiable document. Just my understanding.
And this contract, remember, is 15 years. That kind of bothers me, but I'm not going to be around in 15 years. So it's going to be everybody else's problem. I won't. Maybe I will, I don't know, but it's getting pretty close. Anyway, all right, I need a motion to approve the Metro Act telecommunications right-of-way permit for Fiber Technologies Network LLC for the construction of fiber optics network extension as presented.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Shoemaker is absent, Gopal is absent. Tucker,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
I vote yes. Mathis,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, new business, resolution number 2016-05. This is honoring Eagle Scout John Gavlin. He's Fenton High School senior John Gavlin has obtained the rank of Eagle Scout in the Boy Scout Troop number 219. His Eagle Scout Court of Honor will be held on Sunday, April the 17th at the First Presbyterian Church in Fenton. John's Eagle Scout project was to construct and install a new sign for Fenton Township Gage Cemetery on Fenton Road. A resolution has been prepared to honor John Gavlin for his accomplishment. And the newspaper talked about it, but they didn't show a picture. And it's a beautiful sign. It says Gage Cemetery, established 1856. It's restored by John in September of 2014. It took him a while to do this. I don't think anybody can see it, but it's a three-way sign, so whatever way you travel.
I can see it.
Oh, you can? You're doing good then. All right. Resolution number 2016-6. Clerk Crew, will you please read the
My
resolution?
computer's
You need
dead.
it?
Yep, I need the resolution itself.
That's it, isn't it?
Thank you. Whereas Fenton area resident John Patrick Galvin has attained the rank of Eagle Scout and on April 17, 2016 will be presented with a coveted Eagle Scout Award at an Eagle Scout Court of Honor, and whereas the Eagle Scout is the highest rank of recognition attainable in scouting, and whereas to earn the rank of Eagle Scout, a Boy Scout must advance through the various stages of scouting, earning a minimum of 21 merit badges and complete a service project that benefits a nonprofit organization within the community. And whereas John Galvin, a valued member of Boy Scout Troop 219, is a dedicated young man who has earned the respect and admiration of his fellow scouts through his active participation in the many programs sponsored by the Boy Scouts of America. And whereas John's accomplishments in Boy Scouts include earned the Arrow of Light Cub Scouts highest award, earned the Order of Arrow in 2011, served on the Mackinac Island Scout Troop 127 contingent in the Honor Guard to Governor Snyder in 2011-2012, member of the troop, 2019 Salvation Army Band, served Troop 19 in many leadership positions, including troop guide, patrol leader, and senior patrol leader. Completed National Youth Leadership Training and earned a total of 31 badges. And whereas John completed a major service project consisting of building and installing a new sign at Fenton Township Gage Cemetery, spending numerous hours to plan, design, and complete this project. Whereas John has truly exhibited a commitment to the principles of scouting and has consistently conducted himself in a manner becoming of an Eagle Scout. And now therefore be it resolved that the Township Board of the Charter Township of Fenton hereby applauds the diligence, determination, and dedication of John Patrick Galvin in pursuing the highest award by the Boy Scouts of America, and extends its heartiest congratulations to him on the occasion of his attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. And be it further resolved that this resolution be spread up on the minutes of the meeting and a copy provided to Mr. Galvin. I'll move the resolution.
Do
Second.
I have a second? Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mathis,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
I vote yes. Gopal is absent. Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Shoemaker is absent. The resolution does pass.
Just to the public, the township has 3 cemeteries. The one that we're talking about is on the curve by Fenton Orchards. It used to be real close to Peabody's Orchard years ago. If you ever just want to go and walk through it, if you go through the driveway and you go towards the north side of the cemetery, and you'll see the tombstones are quite old, and read, the dates and that, it is very interesting. People are still being buried at this cemetery at Gage. The other cemetery is Odell Cemetery, and that is Odell and Linden Road. It's just a small piece of property. Tombstones have been destroyed and everything, but I think there's a couple and they're put together. The Podunk, when you go into the Podunk, the house in that, you'll see an area with cyclone fencing with tombstones. They were all, different ones were broken up, so they decided to save them. So there's the 3 cemeteries the township has. But yes, you can be buried at Gage Cemetery, and it's maintained and taken care of. And this young man did a lot of work, and township is very proud to have him in our township. And Tom Broker is going to be going on Sunday, April 17th, to give him this resolution at the Presbyterian Church. And anybody is welcome to go. All right, board comment. Are there any comments from the board?
I was just going to embellish a little more. There is a meeting, as Mrs. Mathis said, for the dog park. It'll be right here. TV 12 is coming, so make sure you smile and wash your face if you come. But all we're trying to do, we have an area that I have been trying, with the help of the rest of the board, to make into a true park for the residents. And it turns out that we're going to make the initial push at a dog park. So if you're interested, first of all, the meeting is here, it's open. If you're on Thompson Road going towards Fenton Road or east, if you look on the south side of the road, you'll see the sign that denotes the dog park, and you can drive back and actually see where it's been staked out.
It's a beautiful area. When you drive back there, you just think it's just flat ground. It looks like farmland, flat ground. There is a huge wetland area, and this location is approximately, almost 2 acres.
2.3 acres will be the dog park.
So when we did the ribbon cutting, people brought their dogs and they were excited to think that the dogs are not just in a square area, fenced-in area. It's a lot of hills. It's beautiful. So I hope everybody shows up on that. The only other board comment that I have, I'm not going to give names or anything like this, but seawalls are what everybody's putting in right now. And there's always good and bad on any type of business. But we have a certain company that is going around stating that they will put a seawall in, but they want the money up front, and they don't show up. They're gone. And so people need to, we can't tell you, no, don't use this company. There is good companies in this township, and the DEQ highly recommends it, but they won't even tell you which ones are the best. We just can't recommend it. But think about, why would you ever pay anybody money up front? And we've had some incidents, one on Panema Lake about 2 years ago, one on Lake Fenton. I got a call last week in regards to one on Lake Fenton again. Took him to court, and that has no money. He's flown the coop, but he'll be back. He'll be back. But Just get the word out and check references if they give you any, yes. All right, now I'm going to open it up for public comment on agenda or non-agenda items.
Good evening. My name is Terry Garfield, and I am a resident on Eastview Drive. And my wife Sharon spoke at the last meeting, and we brought some concerns in the neighborhood on some blight issues and ordinances not being dealt with. Can we get a follow-up on what progress has been made since we were here
You want to
last?
follow up now?
Is
For
that
one-
possible?
All right.
Is that
You-
possible?
Oh, yeah, I've got it right here.
Okay.
All right, I don't know if you were watching me, but I was writing all your concerns, and I wrote them all down. One was the garbage dump, the trees that fell from the storm, debris over the road, the 53 acres, the trash thrown over the fence, the dumpsters, fence behind the dumpsters, concrete, the fence around the dumpsters. And so, whatever, that was on a Monday. Tuesday, 3:22 at 3:20 p.m., I got a hold of the owner, Sam, from Eastview. And I gave him all these concerns. And I told him, Sam, your employees, your residents are putting concrete on the other side of the fence. The fence is broken down and needs to be fixed. Now, the one answer on that one, and it does make sense to a point, it's not his fence. So Mr. Hosey is going to be trying to get a hold of the owner of that 53 acres and have him repair that fence. The trailer, that needs to be removed. I talked to him about that. I need the dumpster cleaned more often. Lot 61 has a wood-burning stove in it, and he has already gone into eviction to that resident. He's taking care of that.
He's
And,
evicted him because of the stove?
No, he's evicting him for other reasons, but when we talked about the wood-burning stove, he said when that person is going to be evicted, he has other things that he's evicting him for. And
I'm concerned if it's installed with the proper clearances, and according to the Michigan Mobile Home Commission, you have the right to check to make sure that that's accurate, that is properly installed.
yes, yeah, and we will. But I mean, this is just the conversation, Mr. Garfield, that I had that day. Kenny Walker is the young gentleman. We tried to get him on 328, who is on the corner there, who had the trailer. Then I remember you were all talking about possibly buying the property. So I came right out and asked Sam, will you be willing to sell the property? He said, absolutely. So I checked into the SEV, and the SEV is $307,600. So you'll be talking a value of $615,000.
Did Sam agree to take $615,000?
No. I didn't get into money, but I just wanted you to know that we checked that. And Sam is very willing, so the people who is ever interested, could go and talk to him.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't talk money. I just went to my assessor and found out the value, what she's assessing it at.
Well, since you brought that up, Sam owns 424 feet of waterfront on Lake Penema and on the open water. And all of the residents their waterfront is taxed at $2,500 a foot. And $2,500 a foot times 424 feet is $1,060,000. And according to your assessor, he has $170,000 worth of improvements on that lot, plus a house. So,
Plus the house, you're right.
so I'm thinking it's probably worth $1.5 million. So I think that was something I was going to talk about tonight. I think that his taxes are considerably lower than the rest of the residents on. Now, I don't know if
Mr.
commercial's taxed at a big discount or not.
Mr.
But-
Krug went into the assessor and talked in regards to that,
Okay,
on that, so he can give you an answer.
okay.
Go ahead, Bob.
As we talked about this, I went to the assessor today, and the area, pardon me, is actually 3 lots. One the house, one that
Storage
is
yard.
the storage, and then the one that was the big concern is where the trailers and the summer rentals were.
Campgrounds.
In a trailer park, they don't charge per resident, they charge per cement slab. So he's paying even on the empty ones. The slabs are being taxed at a value of $153,500. The house itself, 80 feet, is being taxed at a value of $200,000.
That's right.
And based on a formula that assessors use, the remainder of the waterfront is taxed on a value of $170,000 for a total of $523,500. And I wished the per foot for the 80 feet, the one that has the house on,
That is 25.
is at $2,500 a front foot. And I'm trying to remember, the other one is, geez, I should have got better training on assessing. I want to say it's 100 or 1,600. It's a calculation.
Foot. Yeah.
You know, front foot. I got this for you.
Okay.
So it's got all the dimensions. It has all 3 lots. And if you would like, I talked to the assessor, and that's definitely where you'll get a much better
Okay. Well,
explanation.
all right, well,
And
we're,
I told her, Terry, that you might be in to see her.
okay,
So this is yours when you want it.
okay, that's fair enough.
Just for the other board members, I don't know how many people, there was a meeting, Mr. Krug told me today, on
Yeah, well,
Saturday or something?
Based on the
I
concerns
didn't know.
of the residents 2 weeks ago, I don't know who it was, somebody said they had tried to get a hold of Representative Graves, and I made the comment back that I would track him down because I knew him. I did get a hold of Representative Graves. When I called them back, they invited me to a coffee and donuts on Saturday morning to meet with the residents. I was able to hear their concerns. I brought them back to Mrs. Mathis. A result of all this work, on the 15th of April at 5 o'clock, Representative Graves, Senator Horn, and I believe a person from the Mobile Home Commission will tour Eastview Trailer Park and then meet so graciously at the Garfields. It's open to anybody.
I think Tony Brown is gonna be there too.
Yeah, and you guys talked to Tony.
Tony called me today.
The only thing I ask is if there's gonna be more than 4 of us, I need to post the meeting. No big deal. But once we get 4, we have a quorum, and
What time is it?
5 o'clock is
Right.
when the tour will start.
But now, you're not gonna have the public go through the tour, only the officials.
No, but only
Yeah.
the officials.
So is the tour at 5 o'clock and then the
That's what
meeting
I'm
after?
told. Tony's
Okay.
staffs,
They're,
or
they're
Tony.
supposed to meet at my house at
Oh,
5, was what
okay.
I was told. They're gonna come to my house at 5.
Okay.
And then do whatever's gonna happen from there.
Okay, got it.
That gives somebody a gathering point that's,
And then after they tour,
After
and
we
then
are
they,
going back to the Garfields, unless there's an overwhelming number, we can come back here.
you might want to
or,
come here, you never know. Yeah.
But she makes real good coffee.
Okay.
and we've got just about this much room because have you seen my SEV?
Well, you know, yes, I did. I looked it up today, but I didn't think you wanted to discuss that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But that's a result trying to take care of their issues as best we can.
I would probably like to appear for that.
Tell you what, I'll post the meeting.
The board
It
members
doesn't
probably
matter.
should be there.
What's the date of it?
The
Tax day.
15th,
Tax day, how appropriate.
And what day is that then? Tuesday?
that's a Friday, the 15th.
Friday the
Friday.
15th.
don't have to cook supper for everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thanks for
You
offering.
hear you talking about your cooking?
Beef, don't forget.
I just said
I heard him
coffee.
say coffee.
I said
I heard him say coffee, Attorney Tucker.
So April
But-
15th at 5 o'clock.
hopefully you'll get some answers
Okay,
from the people that I hope know the answers.
okay. Well, you know, because you were there Saturday, that
Yep.
we're doing some discovery on the ordinances and whose responsibility is what and,
Yep.
and how this process, we're educating ourselves. And we do have that Michigan Mobile Home Commission Act.
I've got
And
it here.
And it does say that the township has the right to enforce its ordinances.
Which we do when we go in twice a year.
Well, but here's the thing about that. I'm not trying to argue, but there's an
no.
ordinance against storing boats and campers and other large equipment, snowmobiles and things like that, in the trailer park. It's supposed to be, it's your act from 1977, I've got it. And
Okay.
our ordinance, and it's supposed to be stored in that lot that he provides. But there's 5 trailers on the front row. One of them has a paddle boat leaning up against it. One of them has a snowmobile trailer. One of them has a boat trailer. One of them has a snowmobile that he stores on the side of the road year-round. And those things, according to the ordinance, should all be in the park. And
right,
that was our point last time. If that stuff was cleaned up, none of the other parks, just make it, I understand that they're older and that they've been painted very beachy. But if all of that crap was put where it's supposed to be, it wouldn't look like it does. It wouldn't be a garbage dump. So, and they have, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, that's what we're asking for. So it's obvious that there's ordinances in place that we're just ignoring or that we've overlooked or that we're not following up with. And that's what we're asking for. We're asking for those things to be dealt with properly. That's all we want.
All right. This thing, in my eyes, has been going on for 14 years. I've
It's been going on for 4 decades.
Well, no, I just said, sir, in my eyes.
Right.
The first thing that ever made me aware of it is I decided to drive through.
Okay.
I don't know if the board members have driven through. I've talked to different people in the township. A lot of people don't even know that park exists. And I say to people, drive through it. You know, please drive through it and see what we're talking about. What got me started on this was a hot summer day in, I don't know, July, August. I took my car, I drove alone. I saw a broken bay window of a little baby, maybe she was 2 years old, sitting in the bay, and the glass was all shattered, and big pieces of glass. And I left there, and I said, I will work on this the day I die, as far as trying to get this thing cleaned up. And I can honestly tell you, you'll say to us, or to me, or my code enforcement officer, or my past code enforcement officer, if we have an ordinance and we have a complaint, we do enforce it. And when you said snowmobiles, yeah, we've moved them out. We've moved boats out. We've moved cars out. I've had, the tow trucks with flatbeds come in and move them out. But you might not see all that because these people do continue to bring more in. You move one out, you might get two back in there. But it isn't that, please, please. I know Tony Brown called me today and said all myself and Tom Hosey was doing is patting you on the head and saying, okay, no. I did not know you were coming tonight. That very next day, I made the phone calls. Then last week, I recalled Sam and reissued this to make sure that he does this.
Sam has his manager picking up some of the debris that's on the ground in the park. I've seen him take 3 trash cans with wheels to the dumpster this last week. So
It isn't that we don't do it. I myself, personally, with the health department years back, a man had died in one of these homes. He had been in the home for many days. The body had just kind of deteriorated on the floor. It was going to be fixed up and re-rented, and I had him gut it. I said, no human being will live in this house. We could not totally condemn the house. Health department came in, I got with the health department. I get with the health department. I've had people crawl underneath these trailers because of rats.
Mm-hmm.
I have personally caged and caught cats through Adopt-A-Pet because of so many cats. And I see that, and the raccoons, and the garbage. And I have called and said, get in that dumpster and cut that couch down. That couch can't stick out like that. So I don't want, it does look like we're not doing anything.
Bonnie, I'm sure that this is a thorn in your side.
It's
and
not
I
a thorn,
and
it
I
makes
believe
me feel bad to think that people don't think we're trying. That
the
child made me decide.
The thing
I
that
was
we
gonna
don't
try.
understand is if we can read in an ordinance that stuff is not supposed to be there. Now, it's not in any of the other parks. We've driven through the other trailer parks. It's not there. It's just
Mr.
this one.
Schofield keeps an unbelievable clean parks.
But the thing is if it's an ordinance, if I start a business down there in a junkyard or something down there on my property, are you telling me that you guys won't come out and say anything to me unless somebody in here comes and signs a complaint? That's not.
We do not police power. You are right. We do not police. Now, let me tell you why. I personally could drive down any road and find violations upon violations upon violations. We do not police power. Now, if a person comes in, it goes to Mr. Hosey. He asks all the details. He writes it down. He's got reports from your wife and you and Mr. Gopal and many other people. And he investigates them immediately. I wish I knew you were going to be here. I would have had him come to this meeting again. And Mr. Atkinson, reports. We have, I don't know how much I can tell you because I don't know, but I don't want you to stand there and say we overlook you. You have to call and tell us.
Can we invite Mr. Hosey to come to the meeting next Monday night, and we'll show up, we'll sign 100, we'll read the ordinances, we'll look at all the violations, we'll put them in a legal pad, and we'll give them to Mr. Hosey, and we'll give him 100 of them next Friday when he comes.
All right, now, you can
We want
do
it
whatever-
cleaned up, Bonnie.
You know what, if you want to do that, sir, you can do that. But that is, Mr. Hosey, I'll tell you what, you get those written before your meeting and give them to Mr. Hosey.
Fair enough.
Every one of them, and then if he tickets and they go to court, the person who signs that complaint, the names, which is wonderful because that's witnesses. The more people who sign that complaint, then when it goes into court, they'll have proof. So, it isn't that I don't do that. I drive. Those people know me. I get out and walk. I go into trailers that are older people that are pretty proud of their trailers, that have been there a long time, but scared to death to be there. But they'll invite you in to have coffee, just like you do. There is some that one woman invited me and she said, I want to show you. I'm just looking to see if the newspaper's here. No.
Nope.
Okay, because I'm telling all of you the truth. A woman came up to my car and said, you need to come in and look at my house. And I said, why? She said, well, here. She pulled her shirt back. She was all bitten by bugs. She said, it's infested with lice. And I said, no, I'm not going inside. I believe you. But you need to call the health department. That's not Township's part. That's the health department. But I turned that in on the health department. I have removed dogs.
Who do we call, since you're bringing that up, who do we call when the children are playing in the street this summer? And they're acting like they're throwing rocks at the cars and all that stuff.
You would call
what
911.
authority?
You would call our police officers. Sure.
Okay. Not child protection services?
Why? No. I
Well,
would
the
call
parents are
police
letting them play
and
in
let
the
the police
street.
deal with it first.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I would definitely call the police.
So, are we in the right pew here to try to get this mess cleaned up, or
I
is
think
this
it's a good
futile?
idea, and where, now I shouldn't say this, but where were all you people when I needed you to get things enforced? I'm glad you are coming out and helping.
You need us now.
Pardon me?
We're here now. Your army just showed up. We're here now.
And I'm saying thank you.
Okay.
And I'm saying thank you 2 weeks ago, because that makes people aware of it. But you people know about it, I know about it. But if somebody said, where is this trailer park in this township? They don't know. They have no idea. And I'll say, drive down. Just drive down. You will not believe the poverty that is in that park. And you had also said about taking turkeys and food and that. I get with Sam every year, and Sam gives me personally 10 families in that park that need help. The school also does that, but I get the families from Sam. And if the school isn't dealing with it, then I deal with it. I get my friends out there, and we take care of 10 families.
See, here's the thing. We're not asking you to remove the families. We're not asking you to remove any of the trailers. What we're asking you to do is to help us get the ordinances followed to clean up all that mess so those people have a better place to live and the children aren't in as much
right.
danger.
This
This
is
is
gonna-
not about putting Sam out of business or shutting the trailer park down. I read the Michigan Mobile Home Commission Act, and that would be very difficult. However,
You're right.
However, it's not impossible if that was our goal, which it isn't, because the living conditions there are at the verge, a lot of times, of the health and welfare and safety of those people are in jeopardy. Would it be possible to have Sam put those dumpsters in the park on some of the vacant lots in the park and move them off of the street?
If you drive down there, my personal opinion,
Yeah.
there's no room for dumpsters. You need to go down there.
You mean there's not two vacant lots that the dumpsters will fit on
They-
side
they
by
park-
side?
They park cars all over the place.
Well, they wouldn't if there was a dumpster there.
Well, see, you say that, but I'm saying there's no room for a dumpster there. There isn't.
Okay.
The slabs that we've taken 7 of them out. Some of these poor people, and I'm going to defend some of these people. Some of
We're
these
not
poor
attacking
people
the
have
people.
taken where the slabs are and made gardens, and they're growing their vegetables. There's one little lady that has flowers, and she's got all kinds of things in that. She's made a playground for the children. You know, you see the outer, but the inner, it's still bad. Inner is not as bad as the outer that you people see, and I agree with you.
Bonnie, we work with those people. We told you last week. We pick them up, and we take them to church, and we feed those children. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about why can't they be made to close the lids on the dumpsters when the...
Well, it's the
except
same as my dumpster. Out here,
your dumpster looks great.
no, it doesn't.
make the
I
one
drive in
over-
every morning, and the dumpster lid is open, and the door is open, and I get out of my car, and I close it. Now, and that's the truth. I had a dumpster at my property in Fenton, my business. We very seldom filled it. people know when there's a dumpster and they fill it, and they fill them at night. Now, I'm not saying that happens here, but by God, it does happen. And if I went through the trash in our dumpster, a lot of it would not be Fenton Township. It would be residents know that it's a dumpster there and we'll do it at night. We will have this meeting. The only thing that I will say, the only ones that are going to tour that park so that we can have discussions among ourselves, and Mr. Graves and Mr. Horn and Tony Brown, and I will have a deputy there. I can honestly, because we're going to have the deputy, fire chief, building inspector as our spring tour, and then we do it again in the fall. We go into houses. We do go in now. But I'll see how many people. But that's the group that's going to tour, and then we'll have the meeting with all of you people. And then you can ask Mr. Graves and Mr. Brown and all that. The more you people speak, the better it's going to be. It's going to give me some strength as far as, I don't think my board members know how much I do in regards to that park. And it's sad. I mean, I know what you're talking about. I can see that you people that have come to my office, I would not want to live there and have to drive by there. But your hands in government are tied. But climb the ladder and you'll get somewhere maybe. I don't know.
Well, you last time we took you to Hart, you told us to go to Lansing, and that's what we did.
And what was their answer?
They're coming to see it. We called Joe Graves and
Oh,
Ken
you
Hol-
mean just lately?
Yeah, when we were here 2 weeks ago, you said, I can't do anything, go to talk to your people in Lansing. That's where my hands are tied. That Michigan Mobile Home Commission.
I just said.
Get
I
the
don't-
legislation changed, is what you said.
Well, I was the one that said that.
I was gonna say,
And
I never said
let
that.
me be clear. What I said is they are tied, not completely. I never said they were tied completely. If somebody commits a murder in that trailer park, we certainly have the ability to do something about that.
We have according to that law that I'm reading, I'm
Yeah.
not a lawyer, but
Right.
according to that, it also says that the township and local units of government have a right to enforce the local
I got it
ordinances.
right here, Jen.
Yeah.
And- Which we do. We
in
do.
to- in township.
We know that. And
All right.
I've had this since 2014, this letter from Mr. Graves, his representative Benjamin. So,
Well, I just have one last thing, and I'll be finished, and that is, what are the plans to move out the marijuana factory?
that's definitely Genesee County Sheriff Department.
I thought there's two ordinances. One says that if you're going to open a business in the
It's-
town.
But now, who says it's a business? I said he was a caregiver from
Yeah,
what the sheriff told me.
Yeah, I brought to be a caregiver, you have to have a federal ID number and you have to be licensed as a business by the state of Michigan. I brought the forms.
Well, that's something I will have to, I mean, you'll have to deal with the sheriff. I did everything to get that thing closed down, and the sheriff said, no, it's legal. So now, we
So-
have to deal with the sheriff.
So that overrides your ordinance that says you cannot have a business in
You
a
know,
mobile
Mr.
home.
Garfield, I know you are prepared, you know, and you had these questions, because after our last meeting, you then called Tom Hosey the very next day and went through all this.
No, I didn't have it all. I called the next day to ask him to take a complaint against Mr. Power, the owner of the 53 acres, for blight, is
But
what
there was a long discussion. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, you're asking me these questions. I don't, you know, I could have got some of these answers for you. I thought when I wrote these down at the last meeting that I did pretty doggone good, that I jumped on it on the very next day and got this stuff going. Now that I have told Sam this, we will investigate it and get everything that you had said. Tonight you're coming and you're saying about the grow house and that. I don't know. I will have to go, or Mr. Krug, or any of these board members, to the sheriff. I don't know. I would have had an answer if I knew you were coming and asking me all these things. But as right now, I can't answer you. I mean, you can accuse me of not doing it.
No,
but I
I'm
had
not,
to
no,
do
no,
it
I'm not
through the
accused.
sheriff.
I'm not accused. I'm just reading when you tell me something can't be done, we're doing this, we're getting the ordinances and we're finding out what the laws are. And that's all we're asking you to do, is to explain why the ordinances are there, why are the ordinances there, but they don't pertain. That's kind of what we're asking.
All right.
But I want to drop it tonight. We'll come back in 2 weeks, and
I think the next time, seriously, we can keep this going every 2 weeks and that, but we might as well just do it into a full evening and get it, all your opinion in that in regards to this. It doesn't have to be at a board meeting. It could be whatever times you want, whatever day, because you're going to have a lot of questions. And now Mr. Krug knows some of these. Or do you want it at a board meeting? I think it'd be fair to make it like a round table discussion and get the other opinions, because some of these people might not want to have their picture on television talking about this part. And if it's just a regular round table discussion, that's fine. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me, but I know how people talk and how they do have a fear of different things that could happen. Yes. But that'll be Mr. Krug and whatever. You're welcome at a meeting, or you're welcome to have a big round table meeting in the township here, however you want to do it.
Well, how's anybody gonna know that there's been a complaint? Are you saying that we're gonna be put on hold? I mean, is there somebody gonna be watching us? If we make a complaint,
Yeah.
are you gonna tell everybody that who I am?
No. I'll tell you what. You make a complaint, you want me to put my name on it, I'll put my name on it. If you don't want your name on it.
I don't have a problem.
But when you go-
But you're saying that some people don't.
No. I'm just saying, there's some people that don't want people to know. Let's say it's a whole different situation. A neighbor will come in complaining about this neighbor. I can't sign a complaint because he'll know who did it. No, we never put that name out. No. The only thing, it will go into court, because we do ticket for blight. And Mr. Cooley will state that, because we just went to court last week in regards to a blight issue. So,
We need a written complaint by whoever it is that's making the complaint. You can't just come in and talk about it. If you want something done, you have to sign a form that we have.
Well, cleaning up the trailer park, we have to make a form. I mean, it's
a what?
a form. Are you saying?
You would just come into Mr. Hosey, sit down and say, Mr. Hosey, let's just say a snowmobile. I would like that looked into. Mr. Hosey, I mean, you can give, I can go down Bowl Street right now.
No, and that's understandable, and I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with, and I'm with Terry about this whole business. We're not nitpicking. We just want the damn thing cleaned up.
I agree. I agree.
We're tired of the blight. We're tired of driving by it. We're tired of people, friends and relatives coming down the road saying, "Oh my God, I hope you don't live in there."
And it's just like where I go, but I will take that, because this is my office that I have to answer to the residents. And you notice I'm the one that's talking to you people. I mean, I get at Eastview a lot. I get sewer bills a lot. I get roads a lot. Now, you go any place that I go, I get hit by it. But there's reasons. You people do have good reasons. I will never deny you that you don't have reasons. But our hands are tied to a point. You can have laws, you can have ordinances, but you got to get them enforced. In local government, we have done everything, and Mr. Hosey will show you all the complaints and how he has followed up on them, dates, times, and if he's closed the file or that file is still open. And he shows me this weekly and daily. Mr. Hosey will come into my office and we go through all. But I had another one once. Young man came in, no heat, no electrical, middle of winter, 2 years ago. I said, Well, have you talked to the manager? Yes, nothing's being done. Every time I put a fuse in, so it must have been the old wiring, right? You screw the fuse in, it blows. I personally got on the phone to Sam and said, Sam, I want heat in that house in 3 hours, and I want you to get electrician out there. He said, I don't know one that I can get right away. I said, I can get you one, but this family is going to have that checked, have electrical checked, and have it done right, so no blowing of fuses, and they will have heat. And it was done in a period of 3 hours. So it's a nightmare. I
Well,
mean,
you know, and I know you got a list. It just seems like whenever Sam gets to the bottom of the list, it all stops.
he never gets to the bottom of the list. We're constantly,
Then you know exactly what I'm talking about, and then all of a sudden, we gotta file another complaint. It's just an ongoing, it's like raising your kids.
that's what I'm saying.
You know, but this is what we're talking about. We want an ongoing cleanup. We as the residents, we want that trailer park cleaned up. Like Terry said, we know we can't make it go away.
We're
Just-
trying to
just
sell our
clean it.
houses and stuff.
I know.
The value of our houses are going down because of this.
Now,
And that's not fair to us.
at the Board of Review, did any of you come and come to the Board of Review and state that your property value was dropping down because of Eastview?
Yeah, because.
Did you come to the Board of
people-
Review?
No, but people
Okay,
come and
that's what
look-
you can do.
People come and look the value of your house, and once they see the trailer trash, they say, forget it, and not gonna buy your house.
I agree.
And that's not fair to us. We pay our taxes, we do everything that we're supposed to do. We pay our water bill, everything. And it's not fair to us because of them.
I totally agree with you, but I need you to come to the Board of Review, and I sit on that Board of Review, but I don't vote on the Board of Review, and request that because of the blight and the area that you have to go through, there should be a decrease in property value. But I believe she is going to say you live on the lake, and the lake is, the property value is the lineal feet on the water. But it,
Except for the trailer park.
Yeah,
see, I don't
He's
know
got-
that. See,
Well,
Yeah.
his SCV is 307,000.
What was the frontage?
424.
yeah.
307 SLV, SEV is 3076, yep.
Yeah.
That's something Cesar or Mr. Krug can answer in regards to that. So is there anything else you board members would like to say to the public? Yes, sir.
I'd just like to say that I shouldn't have to go out into my yard and pick up the trash that is blown down the street all the way into my yard from the two dumpsters, and just that whole thing's lined with trash. It's a regular thing, and I'm several houses down.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I've even asked him to give more dumpsters in there, but I don't know. People see that people are transit. They come in and out. When they go out, they throw TVs, they throw mattresses, they do all kinds. Then another one comes in, and the trash just keeps building.
Well, I can show you a picture of the dumpsters this morning. They were overflowing, both of them.
Yep.
The tops were open, the trash was laying down beside the dumpsters. Now come, sometime this month, next month, the whole front row, the seasonal people are gonna be there. And then, where's all that trash going? I talked
But now
to
you
about
people
this
don't have a
last
problem
year.
with the seasonal people, do you?
No, but
No.
they're gonna take
It's
up
more
dumpster
garbage.
space.
Yeah,
There's gonna be 15 more people.
there's more
putting
garbage in the road as you pull in and drive down the
So
road.
he does not have a dumpster down below?
That's sick.
No.
Okay.
Bonnie, I want you to understand, we're not trying to be argumentative, we don't wanna fight, we
No,
don't even
I
wanna
know.
be here. We really don't.
No, we don't. We're just
We
trying to
just-
make a
they're
point
just-
here.
they're
Oh,
just
no,
needs
and I
to-
understand
Why
it.
don't
I
you bring this
totally
guy in
understand.
and let him face us and explain to us why? he
You know,
didn't
one
pick
time
this
I
up?
did that, the one time I did that was years and years ago, the building inspector, there was some deal with the building inspector on some piece of property or whatever. So I wasn't supervisor at that time, but we asked the building inspector to come in, and it turned to be a lynch mob. I mean, I can't do this either to people. I mean, I just can't. That's why when we tour, it's only going to be the officials that go through that park, because there could be a riot in there. I mean, absolutely a riot. And people are, and I mean, you're all good people, but you're being pushed to a point. So I'll bring the sheriff, we'll use the board members, we will come in, and then we're going to have Joel Graves do something, and Ken Horn do something. You know, they throw it back down to us, and then they give me this, and I do what I can do with, this is your Mobile Home Act. This is the one that you just read. This is one I have been going,
22 pages.
well, this one, they did the brief right here. It tells you exactly. So, we need to get the big, Mobile Home Park Association or whatever. I mean, I've dealt with those people. You know what they do when they come into the trailer park? They only will walk down the roads. That's it. Only down the roads. We go in the homes. We look under the homes. We do everything to stop. At one time there was a huge gas leak. Huge gas leak. Somebody just happened to call in. I called consumers. My God, if somebody would have lit a cigarette, that the whole thing could have gone. I mean,
It's been on fire before. Were you the supervisor when it caught on fire before and what? was it
burnt
just
down
report-
2 or
report
something, yeah.
generated? Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm sorry I'm the only one talking to all you people, you know, but from the bottom of my heart, I understand what you're saying. And you could yell at me as much as you want. But I know that I'm doing as much as this government gives me the opportunity to do. Now, we'll have the meeting. You people explain to the top officials what can be done, I mean, what you want done. But to a point, be a little bit reasonable too. Because I will tell you, and I'll ask you, honey, in just a second. I will tell you, we have a sewer plant on Hogan Road. Oh my God, complaints like you wouldn't believe. Years and years of Hogan Road. We have, of the odors, of the smell, we have different things that are in the township. And you know what, the majority, I won't say this to you, but you know what a lot of people would say, and I've heard it say many, many times, you knew it was there, but you did know it was there, but you thought it would be cleaned up. I mean, and that's reasonable. That is absolutely, and like the Hogan plant, the smell, the slush trucks that drive down in Hogan Road, it ruins the roads. And they'll say to these people, well, you knew that that plant was there. Yeah, but we have to help them. So I'm sorry, I just kept going on, and maybe.
What's Sam's response when you're constantly telling him that these issues?
Well, all we want is it cleaned up.
Okay, when I tell Sam these, Sam better have those done for me pretty doggone quick.
Or what?
Or he will be ticketed. And when I give him a list like this, he does get it done. But you're right, the next day,
So
you can have more.
why can't he be made to police it himself? I mean, have you asked him to police it himself?
Well, he knows he's got to police it himself.
But he's
'cause
not
I'm giv-
doing it.
You know what though? How can I mean, all I can do is tell him and then enforce it.
You're right, but you, Bonnie, I'm sorry. You acted like you were aggravated when you said we had to file a complaint about this snowmobile trailer and this.
I'm never aggravated with the public, with you residents. I understand what you're saying. We
Right,
go
but
out
you're
there.
saying we gotta file all those, but then when Terry said, we'll bring him 100 complaints in, cause there's that many of them.
Well,
Then
this-
you get all,
Okay, no. I know my voice is loud right now. I am not angry. I'm trying to, you've all asked me directly questions, you know. But
Well, you're the
when, now wait a
supervisor.
minute, let me just say something. Anybody can go any place in this township and find ordinances that are violated. We can do it about boat owners. We can do it about blight, the many things. But if you bring in 100 complaints and ask my code enforcement officer to take care of every one of these, and he told you, Mr. Garfield and Mrs. Garfield, I'm only one man. I only can do so much. That's why we need him signed. We need him signed. He'll take it to court. If it's not done, Mr. Cooley will tell you that. We take him to court. So we do enforce it. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I asked you and he about the pop-up trailer over a month ago.
You asked, no,
I spoke to you on the phone. You by accident picked up the phone that was on hold.
and what did I
spoke
say?
to you. You said you were in a meeting with him, Mr. Hosey, at the time, and you would bring it to his attention.
I did.
And he went out there and he called me back and he told me, yes, there's a pop-up trailer and that he was working on getting it removed. It's still sitting there.
All right, now the problem is on that one. Pop-up trailer is on somebody else's property. This is what Mr. Hosey told me.
The man's name that's managing the property is Mr. Power. A
Well,
doctor owns that property that wants to remain anonymous. Mr. Power, we invited him to come and join us in our quest to get things cleaned up because it's affecting him greatly as well.
yeah, he can't sell the property.
And,
But he should maintain his own property too.
well, we told him.
Yeah, he should.
We put him on notice that he could either join us here and help us with our complaint to get the ordinances enforced and clean up the trailer park, or that we were gonna be forced to file a complaint, a blight complaint against him.
You need to file these complaints. Mr. Cooley will tell you, please sign them,
Okay,
make the complaint.
we're-
Pardon me?
we're not gonna do anything else other than just our little discovery that we're doing, that somewhere we're missing because,
Well, that's where you're gonna talk to the attorneys. You know, the attorneys are the ones when it comes to legal things, as far as ordinances. All I can do is code enforcement officer, if,
right, but you have a good rapport with Sam, and Sam, when you give him a list, he gets it done, and he only has so much.
but it happens, I
No.
get it done, but then in a day, it could be something else.
Right, but here's what.
It's terrible.
Right, here's what we'd like you to tell Sam, as a speak for all of us. If Sam doesn't clean it up, we're gonna be signing complaints every day. And once it is cleaned up, every time one of us drives in there, which is 100 of us a day, we're gonna file a complaint. Every time we see a complaint, he has to keep it clean. We're tired of the garbage over there. All we want him to do is clean it up and keep it cleaned up. That's all we're asking for. We want his yard as clean as all of our yards. And we don't want mowed grass and all of that other stuff all we want is the blight, and we want it to be kept clean. That's all we're asking for.
Mhm.
I've got a newspaper article where he told the paper that he was there 4 days a week working tirelessly to improve that park and keep it cleaned up. And I haven't seen him there. I don't know what he looks
See,
like. but
I
nobody's
can't,
out there
I
cleaning
can't
stuff
do
up.
anything about that. I can't tell a
No,
person,
I'm just-
you know, in
words
regards
mean
to that.
something. He says things, but he doesn't do them.
When I make the phone call, I can guarantee you the list that I gave him will be done. Bec-
Well, I
By a
guess
show of hands, show Bonnie,
Bob,
when we
this
see
is
when we
ridiculous.
see an ordinance violation, who's gonna fill one out and make sure that it's done? We're gonna go after
But
this
this is
guy.
what I need. Just go ahead and do it. Give it to Mr. Hosey. Sign your name on it. Mr. Hosey will take the action on individual ones. Each one will be an individual one, and we'll see what he can do, yeah.
You would think the guy that owns 53 acres would also sign a complaint against Sam.
Absolutely.
Because all that debris is going into his 53 acres.
Wind blows from
It
west.
it blew so hard, it blew that camper right over there.
No, Walker drove it over
But
there.
they've cut the fence to be
We
able to
actually
get it
pushed it
out.
over there
Yeah.
by hand. We saw
Yeah,
it.
Walker
Yeah,
did that.
we know that. I'm just
Kim,
throwing
yeah.
a little light out there.
Good.
But, it just, he would think this guy would want his yard, or his property cleaned up. I mean, instead of going all the way to the dumpster, they don't make it to the fence and drop it over.
Oh, it's terrible. There's no doubt about it, it's terrible.
So I guess you're gonna have to just start out every day talking to Sam. I mean,
You know what, let me do, please. I mean, you
I'm
could,
not being sarcastic.
I think you are, Mrs. Garfield, on
Well,
this.
no, I'm not, Bonnie. I'm not being nasty. I am telling you, we do not
Just-
know what to do anymore.
Let's get Mr. Graves, and I want you people to say everything that you said to me to Mr. Graves. I want you to also say it to Mr. Horn.
We will.
Yeah, I mean, we need to not have the meeting at your house after the tour. We need to have it here. So there's a lot of room and you'll have some time to be able to talk and express your feelings to them. So this is where you need to come.
Bonnie, I would like to say one thing to you, and that is the meeting at my house on Saturday was a meeting to,
And informational.
it was an informational meeting about what we're doing going forward.
I think it was great.
But, well, wait, now, I want to say this to you because I know that we poked the bear a little bit, and we're
What
not
does that
trying to
mean?
be mean.
Riled up in
At
this shit.
the meeting on Saturday, we discussed not coming over here, throwing bricks at you and being ugly to you and all that. So we came as a group and we agreed to be constrained and make our point known.
You've done well. My voice has got louder. There's no doubt about it, but I am concerned about it. I hate it. I hate it.
Not as
When
much as we do.
Oh, yes, I do. When I go in there, I mean, there's people in there that if I get out of my car, it would scare most of you men to death because they are nasty. They're nasty individuals. I will get out of my car and tell them right to their face, I want this mess cleaned up. I want that dog taken care of. And I do it. And like the lady said, I got the phone call. I just answered the phone up front. Every phone call in 14 years that have come into me is on a piece of paper. So if I did not remember that one, I had to be at the front desk. But I did give it to Tom Hosey, and then he found the trailer. And are you the lady that he did talk to you later, but didn't have your phone number? That's what he told me. Okay. He didn't have your phone number, so he didn't get back with you. But then you called back later. Okay. So, see, he does tell me different things, but I can't remember all of them. But now, please, some of you board members, say something.
Well, let me jump.
Doing a great job, Bonnie.
What about these dogs in the trailer park? These pit bulls that these people walk around and down the road and stuff? Do you think they're safe in there, or they're licensed, or what?
I sit on the board of Genesee County Animal Control, and I would never leave a dog be mistreated. And I've gone in there where the ground is just as hard as cement, and dogs are maybe a water bowl, but a chain maybe this big, maybe a chain that the links are this big. I get them out of there. I get them. It's cruelty to the animal, but it's also dangerous for little children.
Are they all licensed? They all got their license?
Well, that's
and
Genesee
shop?
County. See, that's
what
you
we're
gotta.
worried about.
There isn't that many dogs.
Genesee County told us that they didn't have the right to go in there if when they
You
got
had to do
there.
it, they said, this week.
Yeah.
And they told us it was
you're doing.
Oh, absolutely not. Genesee County Dog,
See, that's what
Everybody's
we're
passing the
getting.
buck.
That's
yeah, absolutely, that's ridiculous.
Well, the nice thing, folks, is we act as a unit. Not any one of us has any more power than anybody else. Some of the issues you brought up Saturday are issues that I've talked to Bonnie about, and we talked to our legal counsel. And it's some of the things that were pointed out that we gotta get clarification. Under our marijuana act, it says, assistance specific to registered individuals identified within the statute. And it also talks about the primary caregiver, which would be the person that's owning the trailer in question. That's his residence. But then it goes on, if it stopped there, it would have been real good. But then it says, which shall be owned or leased by the primary caregiver. So there's some clarification there. One of the issues that we all looked up were businesses in a mobile home. We talked to Mr. Cooley tonight. How enforceable is that? I agree with you when you talk about the fences and the storage of equipment. I believe that once we know these clauses are enforceable, which I think they are, but we got two attorneys here that went through the trials to get there as attorneys, give us a chance. I talked to you guys Saturday representing the township. Tonight's Monday. I've circled them, I've asked questions, and, the one thing we gotta be careful of is that we don't get mad at each other and then we're not gonna accomplish anything. Last thing I'll say, and you can have this, Terry, I finally found my notes on the non-home property. There's 80 feet. He is charged $2,500 a front foot on the water. For the other, it's based on the 53 sites in the mobile home park. He is charged $2,500 on every site with a slab. Then we go on, there are 15 that don't have slabs. Those are the seasonal ones that are on the water. They're taxed and charged a value of $1,000 each. And then there's 6 without slabs that are permanent, as any of those trailers can be, and they're charged at $1,000. But it's all written up here. It might not help you, but at least it's gonna give you, I got this from the assessor 4 o'clock this afternoon, so, give us a shot. I know Bonnie spends a lot of time.
We're done until
We'll see.
after the 15th.
I got a question.
Yes, ma'am. And then this young lady over here had a question
This
too.
goes back to the trailer, the grow trailer, or whatever you want to
The-
refer to it as. And I don't know what the law is. However, is there a law with this whole growing thing that a grow business can't be within a certain feet of a school? Or,
Yep.
Okay, well,
Can't be within 1,000 feet.
what about a bus stop?
Yeah, the kids are
It
going
don't matter.
outside that tree.
I know, it's-
The only thing I
Yeah.
could find, with the help of people here, is it can't be within 1,000 feet of a school.
Okay, so the bus stop is right smack in front of
Yes,
that
it is.
trailer. Literally, like the kids
Absolutely.
play on the fender of it every morning, and that's acceptable? All right.
Well, I don't say it's all right. Have you talked to
Lake
This,
Fenton?
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And this was when my kids were in school, when they first moved the bus stop, and I was told that I was being discriminatory. So, we don't deal with Lake Fenton.
You know what, that made me investigate. When I saw that trailer being painted pink, and when I saw that trailer, the windows have like panels of aluminum foil, or it was either aluminum or it's white, I thought, okay, what do they usually do for grow houses? They paint them bright colors. They do. So it's notified. You know, I mean, people drive in, there's the pink one. Why are those windows all boarded up? My first code enforcement officer went in. I got pictures of everything there. All the plans, the lights, the whole bit. Contacted Genesee County Sheriff, turned it into them, and then they came back and said, he's a caregiver, he can do it. So it's like, I did all their work for them, their homework, everything, but that bothers me that those little children stand at that bus stop and that
Well,
one
maybe
is
the
right.
township should talk to Lake Fenton about it, and maybe they're not aware that that's a grow trailer. I'm just saying,
I
for the
know
safety
that
of the
he's-
children that have to catch the bus there.
I know he has a license, but in 1977, there was an ordinance that said, if you're gonna open a business in Fenton Township, you need to come and make sure your zoning is right for that kind of business. And in 1977, in that
That's
same
gonna be you,
business
Mr.
law,
Cooley.
there's a thing that says you can't do a business in a trailer. The Michigan Mobile Home Act was Public Act 96 of 1987, and the goofy voters didn't approve the smoking dope until 2008. So his business wasn't there during any of that other stuff. He just came in, like you said, in the dark of night, painted it pink, put the reflective panels on it, and said, this is my factory. I'm not questioning the fact that he doesn't have a license and that he's not a caregiver.
And see, I don't know any of that,
But-
just from the sheriff.
But I'm questioning whether or not you can make him move it to a commercial property rather than in a residential neighborhood in a mobile home that is against the township ordinance to have a business in the mobile home. That's what I'm.
And Terry, I looked into that for you, and one of the things we have to answer on that was, and it reads, no business of any kind shall be conducted in any mobile home.
I think he got this from
We've got to come up with information that says he is selling from that location. If we don't know, if Bob Krug,
Yeah, but he has,
but
in order to
it,
grow it.
just
he has-
because, but growing something
doesn't mean-
is not, unless you sell it, is a commercial operation.
So what's
No,
a farm designated as?
I'm sorry?
A farm that's growing corn.
Ag.
Is it a business?
It's agricultural,
It would be covered,
right to Farm Act, it goes by that, yeah.
I got the whole book right here, Terry.
Well, this is the law on the fact that having, thank you, that having, being a caregiver, you have to have a license from the state of Michigan.
And he
to
does, I
operate-
know he does.
To operate as a business. That's the whole thing right there.
Okay, but I know that he's been checked out, and
And he has a business, he's doing business there. He's not doing that
They
for
didn't
free.
say business, they said a grow house. The sheriff said grow house, yeah.
Terry, you want this, I can get one.
No, you keep that.
Okay, thank you.
My printer's still.
All right, then what we're going to do, I'm going to adjourn the meeting, but Mr. Cooley did want to say something to all of you, and you had a couple questions.
Oh, your point about there being a business being operated there, you need to do a little more homework, a little more investigation, so that when you make your complaint to Mr. Hosey, if you decide to do that, about the business being operated there, that you can prove that it's a business. If I live there and I grow tomato plants for my own use, that's not a business. Just because I have a house trailer all filled with tomato plants doesn't make it a business. You really, Bob's right, you need to have some evidence that there's some kind of business going on there.
I just gave it to him.
Yeah, okay.
I'll read it. Probably go
Well,
to
you
sleep,
gotta
but I'll
have the
read it.
facts when
If
you
you're
go
a
to
caregiver,
Mr.
you
Hosey.
have to be a business.
Tell him what you've learned and what you've found out so that he can check on it and see. If it is a business, it's illegal, you're right.
It is a business, and that
We don't,
document,
Mr. Garfield, I don't know, just like Mr. Cooley had said, we don't know it's a business. The answer I got from the sheriff department was, it's a grow house and he's a caregiver. He didn't say a business. So, but that's the sheriff, so I don't know. What do you?
The documents
what
that
do
I
you say?
just gave to Bob says, Mr. Krug says that this is how you become a caregiver. You have to go to the state, you have to get a license, you have to get a federal ID number, you have to have a DBA and register your business name. It is a business. I just gave Mr. Krug the documents explaining how you get a business license to be a caregiver.
But does this guy have one? Whoever-
Yeah,
Yes.
the sheriff told her that he did.
Yeah, they said he was a caregiver.
Yeah,
Oh, mention it.
Well, I think you've got him. Sounds like it.
I hope so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This guy's done his homework, I'll tell you that.
He's done a good job, yes. All right, then, then why don't we do this? And I'll ask Mr. Krug, because he had organized this. 5 o'clock.
Sorry about that.
No, 5 o'clock on April the 15th, the elected officials, any of you that want to come, in, will tell Mr. Shoemaker and Mr. Gopal they're ready to meet at site, and then we will have a meeting of all you people, let's say, at 6:30, because they're going to have to do a lot of walking. Because I'm going to show them stuff that, I mean, I have begged and begged and begged for somebody, to come in and do something.
Thank you.
So, did you get the health department at all? The health department's not going to do anything.
No, I have not
They
talked to
just
the
don't
health
do anything.
department.
What about the fire marshal and the building inspector?
I do our fire chief, we go in,
Can they come to this meeting?
I'll get my fire chief.
Okay, because I'm a property manager in the city of Fenton, and I can drive by those trailers, plus I have a builder's license, and know that they can't be up to code.
No, but there's a different thing, and that's what now see, I don't know this for sure, and maybe you can help me out on this one. Some of this stuff is grandfathered in also, when it comes to codes, let's say if it's stairways, a width, doorways, stuff like that. I will try to get the building inspector. I'll get the fire marshal for sure. I don't know if I can get the building inspector. I'll try. But I really need us to talk to, not so much the fire chief and the building inspector, is these other people there on going up the line so they do something. This is election year. By God, they should help you and answer you some way, Yes.
One thing with that fire marshal, I'd like to know if he could get a fire truck down the lanes of those in between.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
video.
If not, they'd run the cars right down. Yeah.
Well,
No, they don't.
Isn't that,
I can tell you exactly what they do. They block off the whole street and you can't get in or out.
that's.
Okay.
Because it's happened twice since I've lived there.
Okay. Well, if
They
it's,
don't go in and they don't plow down any cars. They
No, but if
literally
there was
go
an
around the
emergency
the fire
and they
truck
had
sits
to
right
get
there
into
and
something,
you're
they
literally-
would.
Nobody can get in or out. I couldn't even go to work one day because when that fire happened and those trailers caught on
Okay.
fire.
The fire chief, the building inspector, they need to do the walkthrough on a day that they go through them all. And they take a ledger and they write everything down in regards to that, and then we go after them on that. And we'll condemn some of them, and we did condemn.
There's a dozen more, or 50
Pardon
more
me?
that need condemned.
The what?
There's another 50 more that need condemned.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
But-
there's air conditioners with black soot around them, underneath
The
electrical
roofs,
boxes.
the
Who
roofs.
makes the decision if they're condemned or
You
not?
know, that it's.
The building inspector?
Building
I know
inspector
you feel
condemns
sorry
them,
for
yeah.
the
So maybe
people
he
that
should
live
call.
there, but honestly, it's not a place they should be living. You should feel sorry because they're living there. It's filthy.
You are right.
There are other options and other places for them to live.
They can relocate to
They
somewhere
certainly
safer.
can.
Well, there are relocation programs.
Yes.
Is Sam gonna be notified about people walking through there on the 15th? I mean, if
Oh,
he does-
I will definitely.
See, if you tell him, then he's gonna have it all cleaned up and it's
No,
everything's
no,
gonna
no, no, he can't get it. But you have to, if you have a mass of people coming, you have to at least announce you're coming in. They're not gonna be able to have everything cleaned up. We do it twice a year and we condemn them. I mean, he does it. We even, move cars out, whatever. But, I mean, I think well, Mr. Cooley, do I have to notify him they're coming in? To go through his property?
No, but I would. I think it's beneficial to everybody that he know about it. Can I just tell him one more thing that might be helpful?
You need to speak up,
I went
sir.
on a tour of the place with our previous code enforcement officer.
Oh, that's right.
Because we had multiple complaints, just like yours, same thing. And we talked to the previous code enforcement officer and myself. We talked to a man, and I don't know if his name was Sam, but he represented himself as the owner, and he was from the Detroit area.
Yep.
Yep.
And we said, why don't you clean this place up? I mean, it's just awful. And he said, I have no interest at all in the mobile home park business.
It's true.
I don't want to be in the mobile home park business. I'm just having this as an investment until somebody comes along and offers me enough that they can tear it all down and put condos in here, or whatever they want to do with it.
But he turned down 1.2, I understand.
Yes.
No, that deal, that was the gentleman that was gonna do the condominiums.
This was
And-
before that.
Well,
Mr.
Mr.
Power
Tucker
said they
would
offered
know.
him, they offered him like, I think he told me, now don't hold me to this number, but I thought he told me they offered him 1.2 and Sam or their corporation turned it down.
And how
he
many?
wanted 2 point something mil.
I don't know, but the man that was gonna build the condos and everything, that deal fell through because of the economy. That would have been a blessing, because he was gonna buy
Well,
everything.
They are still
They
interested if he
still
can.
buy it. He told, that man that you're talking about we called him and told him that we were coming after him. And if he didn't get on board with this here. And what he said was they were still interested. He said, we were gonna tear it down and put 4 $1 million houses over there and then develop this property.
John, the man that we're talking about, he's long gone. He disappeared.
Well, the guy owns it now. They tried to buy it, he wouldn't sell it.
Okay.
Or he wanted too much money.
You know what, let me adjourn the meeting. If you want to stay, you're welcome to stay, but I do know that the gentleman up here, and it sounds wrong to say this, want to go see a basketball game, and I guess it's going to start.
All the teams are playing.
But you're welcome. You're
You
absolutely,
guys come over and live in the trailer park then if you're in that much of a hurry to go home.
Take a detour on your way.
Yeah.
Road trip.
all right, now, so you realize that on the 15th, why don't you come here on the 15th?
Is the representative for the 53 acres, is he gonna get an invite?
You know, I haven't even thought of all the,
You want us to call him again?
no, no.
If